We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro.
Yeah,
That shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We are back for another Ordinal hour, and it's going to be a good one today. We got so much to talk about. So PPI came in today. That's the Producer Price Index. That's business to business, kind of what the price is with that. It rose a tiny bit, 0.1, but it's not concerning at all. We're still in, pre-pandemic levels. This is good. It's all good news. We have the CPI that comes out tomorrow. That's Consumer Price Index. This is the number that matters. I think that, we're going to come in a little bit on the low side. I think we're going to finally hit that 2.9, 2.295. I'm excited for that because we're kind of right in where Jerome Powell likes us to be, which means we're going to cut rates. Whether we cut rates 0.25 or 0.5, to me, it really doesn't matter. Obviously, we're definitely need to get it down into the fours. So a 0.5 would be ideal. But, getting down to the low point of the 5, I think is just as good because it kind of starts the loosening cycle, right? And then the Fed's already kind of buying bonds now. So they're already putting money into the system. So this is all good for us in Bitcoin, and it's amazing for us in Ordinals because if Bitcoin goes up, and we all know it's going to be at its all-time high very soon, but we need to get out of the tightening cycle. And right now we're kind of in the middle there before we get into the loosening part. And I think that's a big deal. We have a lot of Ordinal stuff to talk about as well, so don't worry about that. We got tweets from Jack Luke, from Neil, from our guy Block. We're going to get into OpNet is launching on Fractal now, so that's going to be exciting. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get this thing started. I'm bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
What's up, dude? How's everything with you? How's staring at the charts?
Charts are looking okay. Bitcoin didn't quite get up to that 61,000 I expected yesterday. It paused right at like 60,000 to 300, and then it started to drop kind of towards what the 8-hour chart was showing, right? So I'm not quite sure we're ready to continually play that out, what the 8-hour chart is showing, but we'll see. We'll get into it here in a bit, though.
Yeah, let's kind of jump into the CPI and PPI, if you don't mind, do that first. So it came in about a little bit higher. How do you think about the PPI, and what is your opinion on the CPI tomorrow?
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying it's actually good, like good numbers, right? It only increased by 0.1%. So, but they are kind of speaking with like this caution because they're saying, yes, it looks good from a numbers perspective, but let's not, get too overly excited. because it doesn't necessarily predict exactly how the CPI is going to play out, right? Now, from a logical perspective, you would think it would, because wholesalers and manufacturers are kind of taming their inflation. Then you would think that that would be passed down to the consumer, but it doesn't always work that way. And
Yeah.
in fact, during COVID times, it was a lot of these big box retailers and stuff they were taking advantage of the fact that supply was kind of cut, right? Because all the
Yeah.
supply lines were cut from China and other countries during COVID. And so they were just jacking up prices way higher than what they were getting them for. Now, that is more of a supply and demand type situation. So we're not going through that anymore. So from a logical perspective, you would think the savings would be kind of passed down to the consumer. So we'll see. And I think that's what they're talking about. Like, it doesn't necessarily reflect directly to CPI, because that's not what happened during COVID times.
And I'm definitely noticing it. I've been really paying attention and trying to remember, kind of look back to last year and stuff. But I'm definitely noticing my food shopping bill is definitely down. A couple months ago, we have a family, so kids and stuff. So it was like $400, close to a week. And it's definitely down, buying the same crap, like nothing changed, down to about 330, 340. So I mean, I'm definitely feeling it a little bit. So I'm not sure if you feel, as a consumer, do you feel it, or I don't know?
So I think it's calmed down. It's kind of been tamed, like they said about the PPI, from an everyday product perspective. But we'll see if that continues to downtrend a little bit. That's really what people are looking for. But I think they're happy with just it being under control, right?
Yeah.
So um, I think people in the next 6 months to a year are going to hope that, prices at the grocery store come down a little bit. I don't think they shouldn't expect it to like just drop completely, right? That's
Yeah.
what, just having any type of decrease is a win there. Gas prices in the state I'm in have really gotten better. You're looking at like 2.83 per
Wow.
gallon, which is really good. But again, I'm in the great state of Texas. So, Texas is definitely fossil fuel friendly compared to a lot of the other states.
Yeah, I'm paying about 340 right now. But that's a lot lower. I mean, last year I was paying about 425. So I'm definitely happy with the 340. 425 was pretty insane. It got up to $5, not this July, but the previous July. So I'm very happy to be paying 340 right now. I'd love to be paying around 280 like you, but all right. Let's kind of get into some Bitcoin stuff here. So trouble at Bitcoin exchange Swan stops payments for enterprise Twitter subscription, loses yellow check mark. Is Swan done? So Swan, I actually used to use Swan back in the day. When I first got into crypto, I was Bitcoin maxi. I only bought Bitcoin, and Coinbase was there. If I bought it on Thursday, I wasn't able to withdraw it till Monday. But with Swan, I was able to buy and withdraw the same day. So I started using Swan. Swan's fees were a little bit higher than Coinbase, and that's saying a lot. But I was able to withdraw that day. And self custody was a big thing when it being a Bitcoin maxi back then. And I want to say about September of 2020, because I got in, Bitcoin in August, almost, yeah, 4 years in, bro. I'm 4 years in crypto. I just hit my fourth year. August 8th, 2020 is when I bought my first Bitcoin. But Swan was, one of the exchanges that I did that.
Yeah, there seems to be this ongoing battle between Udi and Corey from Swan, right? And so I don't know if this is we've seen these kind of posts before,
Yeah.
and they were able to stay afloat. And so I wouldn't assume anything until they come out and announce some sort of withdrawal pause and stuff. I think they had like a pause with their IRA. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, we'll see. I actually think that this would be bad for the entire space, because it would cause panic and stuff like that. But it's something to keep your eye on, right? And obviously Corey is a maxi, right? He has that maxi mentality.
Yeah.
And so I think this is more of like a battle between the non-laser eyes and the few laser eyes that are left, right? Because there's not a ton that are as vocal as they were before, because Ordinals has changed things. It's made people realize that they need to open their mind a bit. So at the end of the day, I think like my final stance on this is we hope that it's not like going insolvent or anything like that, and everything will be okay. And maybe this just kind of cycles through the news timeline of Twitter for the Bitcoin ecosystem.
One thing about Swan though, I remember after you buy the Bitcoin on Swan, it tells you, hey, consider self-custody. If you want to know more, click here. And then it takes you into how to use a ledger and stuff like that. So they definitely shill self-custody on their site.
Yeah.
They definitely every time I bought Bitcoin, I've always got the same message. It obviously took me to a ledger ad there where they probably made money on it, but they said it every single purchase. Consider self-custody. So I mean, I think a lot of people that use Swan kind of used it like a public bathroom. You go in, do your business, and then you get out. So, and I don't think they're holding that much Bitcoin from the consumer.
Yeah, and I you got to give them props for that, right? And people will question them on Twitter and ask, or X. I need to get used to calling it X now.
Yeah,
X about self custody if they promote it, and they reply that they do, and you experience that. So you got to give them props for that. Even though they are they custody your Bitcoin for different programs and stuff that they have.
yeah,
One thing that they mentioned was that they don't charge for withdrawals, no fees
no,
with withdrawals. So that's a positive thing, right?
yeah, but
So
the fees to buy it were high. The fees to buy
yeah,
it,
I'm
it was
sure they
high.
just roll those up, right?
Yeah,
Roll up the withdrawal fees, so they say they can say they don't have withdrawal fees, but I think if there, is a couple characteristics that are good of Laser Eyes, it is the self custody rule, right?
yeah,
So I think we got to call things how they are, right? So you got to
100%.
give them props for that.
And I'm curious to play the game here. I haven't looked at Bitcoin Fear and Greed at all, so kind of jump into that. So yeah, and I think yesterday was like 25.
Yes, it was 25. So what do you think it is today?
All right, I think we're not far. I'm gonna say 27.
No, we're not too far, 31.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah, yeah, so not too bad. It was a pullback up yesterday, so it makes sense, right?
yeah.
Because over the weekend it was pretty brutal, and then Monday was a bounce back day. So 31 seems fair. This is actually like a fair. I feel like you're getting the easy ones. Like whenever I ask you, and whenever you ask me, there's like a 20-point spread each way, and so you're getting pretty lucky here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm curious tomorrow with J25. Make sure you play with him. See his guess.
Yeah.
But all right. Let's get into that Bitcoin price action.
Oh man, my chart just reset. Okay, let me pull that up. But before
Yeah.
we
Well,
do, yeah, let
while you
me.
get that ready, I'll just kind of head it up. So, our charts are Bitcoin price action is brought to you by BitPerp. BitPerp is a amazing exchange. I mean, there will be because they're not live yet, but they're going to be, to me, one of the top players over there on Botonics. Botonics is a layer two on top of Bitcoin. It's a side chain until Opcat gets put in, but it's going to be one of the first DApps to be played over there. So but the biggest part about BitPerp, what people don't understand, is BitPerp is going to allow you to leverage Mr. Yen. It's going to allow you to leverage $1 billion cat. It's going to let you leverage these really, really tiny tokens, which is it's cool. You just got to be safe. You definitely want to push safety aspect into this type of stuff. But as a degen, and someone who likes the degen, putting $20 on Mr. Yen and 50x leverage, throwing the dice a little bit, it could be fun. Just know that it's not an investment, that you are gambling, but you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean it is definitely for us at least for fun. And if you're trying to get into leverage trading, please, please, please do your research. Be safe. We say that about any platform. But yeah, so before we get into charts, actually, if you're on the YouTube side, guys, smash that like for us. It helps us a ton with the algorithms. And then if you're not subscribed to us, subscribe to us and turn those notifications on so you know when we go live. On the Twitter side, guys, share this space. We want to onboard other people in the cryptoverse to Ordinals, Bitcoin's ecosystem. But let's jump right in here. You can see on the hour chart here, there is this diamond pattern formation. I haven't really talked much about this, but 60% of the time on these diamond pattern formations, it breaks to the upside, and it looks like it's trying to do that. you can see also on the stochastic RSI that we just came into oversold not too long ago. So it might take some time. We might see one more trend down before we break up, and it might be an extended diamond pattern here. But you also do see on the MACD that the buy pressure just opened up, right? So this could just be like a pendulum swing back down, 59,400, but hopefully we can break back up out of this diamond pattern into 60,000 again, and kind of hang around there. So that is what I'm seeing for the 1 hour chart. So the second half of the day, probably expect a little bit more chop here and then bounce back up is what I'm thinking. I'm going to be a little bit more conservative than I was yesterday. So not 61,000, but I could see maybe like low 60,000s chop up into that low 60,000 range there, maybe 60,200, something around there. And then we go to the 8 hour chart here. Pull that up. So the 8 hour chart isn't as pretty. So the 8 hour chart will give us kind of a forecast for the rest of the week. Kind of a 7-day around there is what I like to look at it for, 7-day forecast here. And you can see the buy pressure is weakening for that, right? So say we get back up to 60,000 and we're just chopping back and forth between 59.5 and 60,000, 61,000. And then we maybe touch down here, break down a little bit further to 57,000 at the end of the week. Also, just because the MACD and the stochastic RSI are pointing down for like the longer time frames, it doesn't mean that we're going to crash down. It just means that like it's that time, it's the turn, you know, the swing, the pendulum swing back going down. So that could be, you know, just touching down a little bit, getting, you know, breaking down a little bit, you know, $1,000, $2,000. It doesn't mean it has to crash every single time, right? So we'll see how we finish off the rest of this month. But from the 8 hour chart, at least, you know, what I'm thinking for the next week is that we do probably chop a little bit downwards, you know, 57,000. That's what I'm thinking, hoping to, because, you know, getting down further past that, you know, people need to realize whenever you do see these big swings like this, what happened this past weekend, there is a little morale that gets sucked out of the ecosystem, right? So we'll see how we play out there. But yeah, for the rest of today, I do see a little bit of chop back up. What's up?
Go back to the last one. Is that a little bit of bullish divergence on?
Yes. So actually, I had that on my previous chart here a little bit. So a little bit, and if that's the case, you know, that can definitely, you know, it's not fully developed yet, right?
Yeah.
So we do need this to kind of bounce up here. If we can get, you know, a couple more green candles, then we can start to, you know, really build out like a bullish divergence situation here. So I think it's too early to call that. We need a couple more green candles here.
Gotcha.
You get what
and
I'm
then
saying?
going back to your other chart, it definitely looks like like it's about to break out.
Yeah.
And
well, also this diamond pattern too, that everybody loves the diamond pattern here.
Yeah.
But let's say like, you know, it's extended a little bit, and we like it breaks out a little bit further. Like it'll be a little bit higher actually, like something like that. Because if let's say that we kind of get to 60,000, but we chop back down, this could just be extended a little bit further out, right?
Yeah.
And so if that happens, then we'll still hit kind of like that diamond pattern goal of, you know, breaking back out up here. So this is a pretty solid pattern for the break back up, right? Like I said, I think it's like 60% of the time it does break up. So especially if whenever it's coming out from a downtrend, right? So we'll see though. We'll see.
Yeah.
It could kind of be a smaller diamond pattern like I drew originally, and then break up from here. But maybe we have one more downtrend, and then we break back up. So we'll see.
And that kind of leads you right into tomorrow at 8:30, right, when the CPI comes out. So, you know, a lot of times too, a lot of people, like the bigger traders, will say, "I'll show you the charts. You show me the news." Right. So, or, you know, I'll show you the news, show me the charts. So it's kind of leading both into potential breakout tomorrow morning at 8:30. Say we do enter the 2.9 range of inflation. So that could be huge.
Yep.
But let's move on here a little bit. Let's get into the roll call, my favorite part of the show. Let's see who's first. Let's see. Oh, Reziak. Congratulations, Reziak. You are number one. You win today, my friend. You are a legend here, man. You've been rocking with us for a while now. We appreciate you, and definitely want to say thank you for being number one. Number one matters, and it's crazy because I made this room last night like super late because I was bored and everyone was sleeping. So and then Reziak comes right in. So shout out to you being ready. Lucky Lukey is here. Shout out to Lucky Lukey. He says, hi, boys. Glass Hoppers in the building. PJ and Z. And then our guy Yasher, one of our mods, man. Appreciate you so much. You're always in the top 5, man. Zahid is here. Kai Effect is in the building. Mr. Sheedy says, GM, everyone, have a wonderful day. You have a wonderful day, Mr. Sheedy. We appreciate you. Danny Boy is in the building, followed by No Limit Dude. And Danny Boy is one of our mods. Shout out to Danny. And then, oh, sorry, my phone's going crazy. And Ordinal Tweets is here, followed by No. No won, but we never got his address, right? No, send us your address. We got to give you your ORNJ.
Uh-oh, we got Shizzy freezing up here. Let's see if he gets back in. We'll continue this roll call here. There you are. You there? Right. Okay.
Yeah, like I was saying, no hasn't given his address yet, has he?
No, he hasn't.
No.
So hit us up on the brand account on Twitter, and for the people that haven't sent the address in, you got to do it. If you're on the YouTube side, you're going to have to go find that stream where we did the drawing. It's easy. Just go to our YouTube account, go to live, and then you'll see the live drawings stream. Put your address in there, comment it. We're going to make sure the username matches up exactly. And then on the Twitter side, if you won, you got to reach out to us and message us your Taproot address, and you'll get the ORNJ.
100%. Rick G says, long live BRC20. Rick G's going to make a lot of money, man. He's the one guy who held on to all his BRC20s. He's going to be a very rich man when Fractal comes out. And he's probably going to get airdropped a lot of tokens. Dream Baked is here. Joko is in the building. Patty Pooh, Claudia Yu. Claudia says, block with block, episode with episode. Everyone still good in the bunker. Shout out to you, Claudia. You are always here. Look at my man E-Buck. He says, fam, it's my B-Day, 25 years old. Happy birthday, E-Buck, man. You are a legend. I know E-Buck in real life. He's my guy. So happy birthday to you, man. 20 years old.
Happy
25
birthday,
years
man.
old. Yeah. Like, could you imagine you in crypto at 25? Like, how amazing would your 30s be?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you that before when you told me it was his birthday. I was like, 25 years old and he's paying attention like this. He's going to make it. So
100%.
Congrats to you, sir.
Just keep grinding, man. Keep grinding, especially being in Ordinals. Amir is in the building. Superfan. Shout out to Superfan. Shout out to you. Blockrunner just did a full episode on Superfan. Did you see that? It was good.
I didn't see the episode, but I saw some of the preview for the DMT, man, and that looks sick.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, shout out to Superfan, man. We gotta, Blockrunner always copies us. We had Hermetico on, and then they have Hermetico on. But let's go the other way. Let's get Superfan back on, especially for Tap Tuesday next week. Tim Baker's here. Chain Watcher's here. Mauricio Leo's here. Shout out to you. And we got Cash 8 Cats. And then shout out to you with always bringing the coffee and the donuts. My man, Coach Cats, we call him here. And then E-Bug says, yo, Shizzy, sunscreen is your friend. Yes. Dude, I'm walking around with a bottle of it, bro. I'm not even joking. I'm way too white for the sun. True Mac is here. Long live BRC20s. Bitmap News. He says, whoa, I can't read that.
Buenos dias.
Chingones.
Yeah. Don't read all the comments, though, because we got to read them at the end, man.
Yeah. Sorry.
Especially don't read the questions.
Okay. Dumbo is here. He says, no, sorry. I don't know what to do now.
Well, that one you can address because that one needs to be addressed.
Tap Tuesday. All right, so I am on vacation this week, so we're going to keep this episode a little short. So there was no Merlin Monday yesterday, no Tap Tuesday today, but we'll be back in full effect next week with update stuff. And this is really good. It kind of gives the builders a reset, so we're not shilling the same information over and over and over. And when I say shilling, I just mean it as like giving you guys everything that they're building. Hopefully, we have some amazing updates next week. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a coach Shizzy with the sun burning on his face is more and more like these old school Americans in Western movies with Southern accent. Yeah, sure. Thanks, bro. I didn't even notice I was that burnt until you guys were telling me here. John is here. Chief Axel is here. Andre 3000. Holy crap. We got a celebrity in the building. LSR is here and Sogol. You know who hasn't been here in a while? Lou Ferrigno.
Yes, where are you, Lou?
Lou Ferrigno's
Come
not
on,
here.
Lou.
And he said, Yagobi, I sent it in the plywood check. Wood. Okay. Well, he's giving you some plywood so you can build some stuff. But yeah. All right, guys, that is your roll call. Thank you, everyone who makes roll call every single day. We appreciate you guys. 140 people in here. You guys are rocking during the dead zone. You guys will be the winners once October comes. But I'll wake you up after September ends like yesterday. So, but that's roll call.
Yes, yes.
All right, all right. It's kind of getting some banners here. So Themis Agora, the one live Bitcoin prediction market, they said we've successfully settled 3 markets this weekend. Holy crap, dude. I know these guys are doing big things, but 3 markets in one weekend, that's above and beyond my expectation.
Yeah, I mean they're grinding, right? We had the pleasure of meeting them, right? 2 brothers that are really convicted in what they're building, and you can tell when you talk to them. Right? We even jumped on a call with them, and these guys, I mean, they really do have conviction in what they're building. And the cool thing one of the cool things that they said when we were talking to them was like, look, we're trying to make this, take advantage of this opportunity, and we're going to try our best. And if we miss the mark, which we don't feel like we are, someone else will pick it up, because that's how much we believe that the predictions market is made specifically for Bitcoin, how Bitcoin functions, right? So they're doing huge things. They're working overtime. They're the founder is actually a programmer, which is really, really cool, because you want that if you can get it, right? So we'll see how big this can scale out. They're looking at different scaling options, right? Whether that's going to be on a Bitcoin sidechain, whether that's going to be Fractal, or both, right? Sometimes you got to just already have your footprint out there before the massive bull market comes. And actually, I think that's how you're supposed to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely bullish on these guys. I want to see where they are in a year from now, but I think they're going to be very successful. I can't see them really not being the first. I mean, first is first here. I think we all agree to that. A lot of times, if you're the first of anything, you're probably the most successful in the genre that you're building in, right?
Yeah, for sure. And if it's a usable platform, I mean, people are using this.
Yeah.
They're winning on bets. They're making markets. They're making money from the markets that they're making, right? So once people figure out how to use this system, to a T, then it's going to be heavily used. And the fact that they rushed to market and they kind of broke off from the Byzantine general team, and they did their own thing because they were ready and they believed in their system, I think that's going to prove to be the right decision. But we'll see, right? We can't predict the future, but they definitely seem like they're on the right track. I'll say that.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. And we talked to the team too in Nashville, which was really cool. So these guys are out, they're showing their face, their thing. We gotta definitely get them on the show for an episode. We definitely want to do that when we get back.
I want to show their platform real quick, though, just so people can see it. So it's Aletheia Agora, which means truth market in Greek. Actually, I did not know that. That's pretty cool. If you go to their markets, you can click here, and then you can see all the open markets right now, right? So some of them are closed. So the block hash roulette closed because it's done. The payouts have been done. You can see the results. The open ones, you'll see it says bet market. World War III starts, yes or no, by this date. That's interesting. But then you can see all the ones that they've completed, right? And they've paid out, right? You see the Biden finished term one is still open. So the thing that gets me excited about this is prop bets for sports, because I've mentioned that this is like perfect for prop bets. Like Patrick Mahomes, 2 touchdowns before the first half against like a poor defense. They could, post that at the end of one week, and then you have all week to put your bets in. So that's why I feel like the success opportunity is so big with predictions markets here.
Yeah, prediction markets. I mean, you're gambling, right? Being a DGen, that's kind of what we do here. So that's just, that's just your normalized gambling. And like we talked about it, college football coming, and they put out a really cool video. Did you see that video yesterday? It was like an Eminem song.
Yeah, I posted the one too, because I mean, it gets you. I love football. I love college football, obviously, because like I talked about it last season. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Maybe you and I can figure out something to do that'll be interesting for the audience, right? Maybe a segment or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, sounds fun. Moving along here. we just crossed 74,222,000 inscriptions on Bitcoin, courtesy of the Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. It's huge, right? I mean, 74 million. We're definitely slowing down. I think we're around like 72 million at halving. So we're definitely like, maybe not, maybe it was a lot lower. I don't remember. But I mean, I feel like we're in a standstill crawl right now.
Yeah, well, the entire market is slowed down outside of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is kind of chopping back and forth. This is kind of like one of the worst things for our market if Bitcoin's not like at a new all-time high, and not if it gets to a new all-time high and it chops around there, that's okay because people have made their profit and then they want to gamble a little bit. But we are kind of in this high 50s, low 60s. It's kind of the worst thing for the entire altcoin market, but specifically us, right? Because
Yeah.
people are not necessarily wanting to let go of their Bitcoin because they want to have it whenever it does take off. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on. And for us to be at 74 million, that's still a big
Yeah.
accomplishment, right? I mean, we're talking about, this is why like Node Monks is really highly sought after because they're like 80, 100,000 inscription number. And I think those are going to play a huge role later on, even in the future down the line. Like people don't realize how much, in my opinion, that those are going to be valued 10 years from now. I mean, historical relevance is huge with collectibles markets, right? Tangible collectibles, and this is just a new type of collectibles market that's going to be mainstream eventually one day.
I agree. Do we hit 100 million by January?
100 million by January. I'm going to say yes, because I think
Okay.
that the ecosystem is going to have like a supercharged, time whenever like Bitcoin does go up, which we all expect at least, new all-time highs by the end of this year, right? So when
Yeah.
that happens, you have to remember, people from the outside come in and start launching ordinal projects to try to take advantage of the market conditions, and it's going to be left and right, new projects. So yeah, I do think we get there.
Let's call up Agora and let's get that as
Yeah,
a
dude, that's a market we can create.
yeah, man. Moving along here. So one of our partners, Fluid, they made a tweet today. They said only 1,000 Fluid ordinals will ever exist. The utility is still to be announced, but trust us when we say we're making it worthwhile. Only 4 days left before the snapshot. So the snapshot is when? It's in 2 days, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so that was
August
my
15th.
fault. I probably grabbed that from a different day, but yeah. So the snapshot is August 15th, guys, and all you have to do right now is make one swap. Go to Fluid btc.fluidtokens.io, correct?
Yeah, btc.fluidtokens.com.
Yeah, .com. Okay, and that the link is in our below in the show notes. So you guys can just grab it from there. Go do one swap. If you haven't done one swap yet, do it. Screw it. Do it on a few wallets. You don't know. This is something that you're going to want to do. I highly recommend just go do a swap. So 4 days, 2 days left.
2 days left. I wanted to change that so people didn't see the
Yeah,
4 days on there. So 2 days left, August 15th. They made the announcement. I would say trust that announcement. But who am I? I'm just a degen that shows my face Monday through Friday. And so, obviously do your research on it, but passes, and from what they're saying, possible staking to earn something that's related to the platform. So, I'm excited about it, but take advantage because, 2 days left and then they're going to do that snapshot. You don't want to be left behind.
All right, so starting to see the word prefractal. Basically, mint BRC20 or a rune and get airdrop Fractal tokens after mainnet launch. So I keep seeing this. I'm not sure what's going to be it, but we're going to see it, right? We're going to see prefractals just like we saw pre-runes. Whether they're going to be in rune form, BRC20 form, or ordinal form, digital artifact. What are you thinking about this? And is this something maybe you're staying away from this time? Did we learn our lesson? But you could have made a lot of money in pre-runes.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting because I feel like it's tough. Like the prunes really, I feel like created this liquidity, almost like suppression of when runes actually did launch, right? And so people made their money off of pre-runes and trading them and stuff. So I just hope that this doesn't happen here with pre-fractal, because if it does, then we're gonna have to be in a crazy market. Like Bitcoin's gonna have to be at like 85,000 at least minimum for a pre-fractal, and then people are trading those for like actual Bitcoin and then actual fractal. You know, it's just like we're gonna have to be in a really hyper uptrend of Bitcoin for that to sustain all the way from like a basically like a pre-runes to a runes hitting the mark on expectations, right?
Yeah.
Because right now, I'll tell you one thing is that I do believe fractal could be huge, but like the hype and stuff is starting to build up like a lot, right? So unless they launch fractal very soon, and they said September would be the main net, so I think that's okay. Because when we were talking about pre-runes and hyping up runes, we first heard about that when was it, like November?
Well, Casey came out in November and said runes. We didn't get our first pre-rune until January, and that was Arsic.
Okay, so let's talk about what he was talking about. So he was talking about runes in November, and that became a huge discussion, though.
Yeah.
What it could be. Speculation started going everywhere. You know, the Ordinal show was talking about it a ton, and all this hype happened, and then pre-runes came out in January, and then like let's just be real, like runes didn't hit the hype. It fell short of what the hype was. Now I think that there's enough time, a shorter time frame here if they do launch in September, and I highly recommend they do, because I think the last thing we need is another really hyped up ecosystem that falls short.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. I don't think it launches in September, just the history of Unisat, but I do think it launches this year. And I'm game, dude. Send me airdrop me some free fractals. I won't sell them this time, right? So I am game. It would definitely bring more momentum. Obviously, there's a lot of momentum. You know, you got our boy Francis out there pumping it. Our guy Block over there pumping it. And when I say pumping, I just feel like that they're the two loudest in the room, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever. I think it's awesome. You know, if you're excited about something, say it. We're excited about it, right? We were excited about Merlin, and we're excited about probably the same bit of hype that we have with Merlin. We had with Merlin, we have with Fractal, and obviously we're still bullish on Merlin and everything building up there. But it's nice to see that Merlin's EVM and Fractal's going to be like your native Bitcoin. It's going to feel like you're using layer one Bitcoin, even though you're using a side chain or a fork. I'm excited for it. I think Fractal is going to be a lot of opportunities. I think getting in the hoo cat of Fractal is going to be huge. Getting in the Voya, an airdrop that happens like mid hype cycle. I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, and there is a big difference though between runes and fractal, if fractal is what they say it is, because if they're going to have on-chain computation ability, then you can have these AMMs and swaps, right? So they can sustain hype and maybe even have more hype if there is a pre-fractal period or whatever, because like whenever you do get actual fractal with like AMM and swap and stuff like that, it's like instantaneous like gratification, right? Like you can have these Solana type environments, and I think that's what can kind of sustain that hype, because then now you have something new that's like, okay, people are trading like legitimate degens like hardcore, which you said they will feel like they're on Bitcoin's native layer. So that's the only difference, and if that's the case, then we're talking about a different situation.
Yeah, I feel like Bitcoin degens are different than Solana degens in the sense of they don't day trade, right? They buy and they hodl for long periods of time, and then they dump. So for me, it's like, it's awesome having the 2-minute blocks, but I think the biggest thing will be is just new hype entering the system. I think it's going to be more about the hype of being in the first projects on Fractal. And I think that'll be the biggest thing. I don't think that I'm not going to be purchasing the FB token. I'm not going to be going after that. I'm not going to be going after pretty much anything. I'm going to go after like the first meme, the first swap, the first lending protocol, the first DeFi protocol. That's maybe something crazy that's never been seen before. Because we are going to get that. So you're not going to see EVM forks like you saw with Merlin. You're going to see actual new building and new ideas that are going to be built on Fractal, because you have to. There's no just grabbing something old and refreshing it. You have to build something completely different. And that is, again, why I think that it might be October, November before we actually see Fractal in that way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because right now there's this image in people's minds that, okay, we're going to have swaps, we're going to have liquidity pools, we're going to have all these things with Fractal. If they don't provide that, it's going to be bad,
Yeah.
in my opinion, right? Because then a faster version of what we have here, like they're 30-second blocks, right? So if it takes 3 blocks to confirm a transaction, you're looking at a minute and a half, right? Okay, cool. That's still longer than Ethereum, because like whenever you do Ethereum, it takes what, maybe like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, but it's way better than 10 minutes, right? So a minute and a half. But here's the thing though, if that's the case, then I could just go to Doge and do the same thing, right?
Yeah,
so you got to have AMMs, you got to have liquidity pools, you got to have, Dogenos right now. DRC20 does what Bitcoin does for BRC20s or runes, but faster, way faster. It's like the minute and 30 seconds or faster than that. So it's like, why do we even have Fractal then? We could just use Doge as that. But if Fractal does allow the like on-chain computation ability to build, you can have AMMs, you can have liquidity pools, you can do staking, restaking, all these different things, then they probably will have a great response.
I agree. But I do think day one Fractal is going to be very memey. It's going to be very meme coins. You might see a swap. I'd actually bet that you don't see a swap the first week, 2 weeks. Maybe it might take a month to get that started. They're going to be put it out as beta and stuff like that, but you're going to be able to mint how we mint here on Bitcoin. You're going to be able to trade how we trade here now on Bitcoin. It's going to feel very Bitcoiny in the beginning. And then I feel like after a month, you'll see, okay, the swap's live. You can add LPs, and I can go take my honk and my Ordi and lock them in the LP pool, and then you can do swaps that are quick. And I think that is what we're going to see, 2 months in. But day one or week one is going to be very similar to what we had.
So I think that would be a mistake, though, in my opinion, because you're not going to excite anybody. You're basically creating a faster version of what we have now, and that's not the problem. It's not, yes, that is a problem, but it's not the big problem. The big problem is to be able to do like programmable things on Bitcoin, right? And if they just, like I said, if they just do a faster version of what we have now, I'm telling you right now, people are going to be disappointed, because it's going to be just like Doge. And I know you haven't interacted with the DRC20s or those Dogenos, but I have, and that's exactly what it is. It like when I was over there, I was like, whoa, that was really fast for me to buy DRC20s, or very, very fast for me to transfer. Do the transfer inscription for DRC20s. But I thought because Doge chain was that much faster that they would be able to have like swaps and stuff, but I didn't realize that they had no like programmability or like no computational like opcodes or anything over there. So they kind of have to do the same thing if they want to have these swaps, you know what I mean? So I think that they have had enough time for someone to be building a swap on the side at the same time as like, they're building this. So they should on day, like if not day one, day 5, release something that's usable like that.
I think it's going to be a few weeks, and like I think the hype will be there. I don't think you can't compare this to Doge. Doge is trash. Doge is a trash can. It's terrible.
I'm talking about the speed.
I know, but I'm just saying though, it's like, but Doge doesn't have the hype. So we know we're going to get swaps here. We know we're going to get lending pools here. We know we're going to get many things here. So preparing in the first few days of getting, buying the way we do here, just kind of getting everything ready for when that stuff launches, that could be great success. And people who do that early are going to be doing it for what comes later. And I think that's okay.
I mean, I disagree with you. I think people are going to be disappointed if they still have to trade in a swap meet style environment. Like, if I'm there, like, and I list something, and regardless if I'm on Bitcoin's native layer or Fractal, regardless of the 30-second blocks, if I list something and I have 2 people on each chain, like, and it takes me 10 minutes to find someone to buy it on Bitcoin, it takes me 10 minutes to someone to buy it on Fractal. It's the same thing. Like, that's the same wait time of the swap meet style trading. And that's what I think people hate. You know, people hate that. Like having to sell fungible tokens like NFTs suck. That's the worst thing
Yeah, but it's
ever,
not about
honestly.
that. It's just about getting ready. See, that's the thing you're missing. It's about. I'm not buying no
But do you
BRC20
think
on
people are
Fractal. I'm buying
expecting?
Fractal tokens on Fractal. I'm buying the native layer tokens. I don't give a crap about BRC20s. I want the native layer tokens on Fractal, and I want to get as many of them as I possibly can leading up to the swap open.
Okay, but do you? That's people for like you and me and OGs, right? But
Yeah,
like the whole point of having something like Fractal is to onboard the masses. That's to
it doesn't have
bring
to be
more
week
people.
two.
Huh?
It doesn't have to
That's
be
to
week
bring
two.
more people over. My point is that like if there's someone that like dabbled with Unisat before and then was like and they had a little bit of fun and they're like, oh man, this is too slow. I don't like how this is. They go back to Solana or they go back to Ethereum or they go back to whatever, and then they come and then like the expectation of them to come over to Fractal is like, oh, they solved it. And then they come over here and they're like, they didn't solve it. This is the same thing, just faster blocks. Those people will get discouraged. I'm telling you right
And then
now.
when the
You know what
swap
I mean?
opens, they'll come back.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say is that like in their mind, like
And then they're
you
buying my
have to take
bags.
advantage. You have to take advantage of the hype, though. You have to take advantage of
Yeah.
the hype.
But that's
You
why
know?
I don't think it's going to launch till October. I think they're going to wait for the swap to be 100% ready. But I'm saying if they do launch in September, it's not going to be ready
But why wouldn't it be ready if they've been working on it this whole time?
because it's brand new. It's never happened before. It's not something you can just. It's going to have. Tell me. Trust me. The testing that needs to be done on this. I mean, there's going to be bad actors that want to hack this on day one, and they're going to be looking for opportunity, and they need to be ready in every way for the swap. This is something that's never been done before. It's not EVM based. It's something brand new. And I mean, even Uniswap was hacked in the beginning a few times, right? For a little bit of here and there stuff. So they're going to want this to be fully tested by white hat hackers and everything in beta, in testnet. So when it goes live, it's perfect.
They've had a swap since February, so let's not act like they haven't
They
had
come
like
on, dude. That's not a
framework.
swap.
They've had framework though. They've had framework.
And tokens are still locked up.
I
They can't
know,
get their
which is
tokens
to
out.
me is like they definitely 1,000%, in my opinion, they should have used their framework that they launched in February, which is crap.
That's something completely different, though.
We can both agree with that. That was crappy framework, but that should have been evolving side by side as like Fractal has been built out. Is my opinion. That's my opinion, and I think that like because they've had all this time, like what has launched since then? Like you've had Runes, you've had Merlin, you've had all these things have launched since then, right? Now their module swap sucked. We both agree with that. It sucked bad. Like the speed was good, but that was it. But because they already had that build out, they can, like you said, they can just literally just fork that over or just turn it over to the Fractal network. So they've been able to do that. Let's be real. They've had Fractal probably ready behind the scenes for a while, like the framework of it and all this stuff, like the actual devs, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure Unisat was like, hey, just use the modular swap to kind of test things. That's my point, right? Now, I think also that Unisat is very about timing, right? I think they're about timing. So for it's more about timing than it is about technicals, in my opinion, with them. They want to take advantage of the liquidity flow, right? But they already put a date out there in September that it's going to be ready in September. So that's kind of on them to be ready in September. So I hope that these projects will be ready at least within the first week, but we'll see.
They won't be ready in September if you wait for the swap. You'll be waiting for, and that's the thing too. Is like if I have to use Fractal, and I have to bridge to a modular system inside there, it's trash. Completely trash. If I get a bridge in Fractal,
you won't
it's
have
trash.
to. You won't have to.
I mean, you do use the modular system. You have to bridge
from Bitcoin's native layer.
Well, even Fractal. What's the difference between Fractal and Bitcoin's native layer? It's the same thing.
I'm sure that they're gonna change a little bit of the.
But I'm just saying
to where that's why they're blends in.
That's why they're going to a computation model. They're actually not even going to be using that model. That's going to be an L1 model only. This new thing is going to be created using OpCat and using these new opcodes that they're adding into Bitcoin.
Possibly, yeah. We'll see what they say about the swap, but
yeah. All right, moving along here. We spent too much time on that one, but it's a fun conversation. I enjoy having that conversation. I'm going to skip that one. So TAP has created smart contracts on Bitcoin L1 using ICP technology. So this is kind of going on back.
You guys L1. Happy? You guys happy? We're talking about because there's comments coming in about talk about TAP. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, read that. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. It's good. That's fine. TAP has created smart contracts on Bitcoin L1 using ICP technology. What the hell does this mean, and when can I see it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on that same boat with you on that. I think we can agree with that. But I don't think they would put this out there unless
Yeah.
they accomplish this, because that would be really dumb. Because basically, people are already, I'm sure, like DMing them constantly, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? Including me, I have. But utilizing ICP technology, because ICP actually directly interacts with Bitcoin's native layer to finalize transactions, right? They do a lot of the computation and stuff in canisters, and then it's finalized over there with all the data coming back to the canister, right? Is my understanding. So in their sense, in a way, like I think Benny and Tab was really smart to partner with ICP, because essentially they can say we're doing this layer one, right? Because regardless of a lot of the computation is done off chain in terms of Bitcoin, it finalizes in the final transactions finalized on Bitcoin, and then the data pulled back over there. So like they're actually able to utilize these chains to be integrated and working in unison, and be able to give you guys DeFi, and be able to technically say it's on layer one Bitcoin because it's finalizing there. So it's exciting. I think this is going to be competition, obviously, with Fractal, even though Fractal is technically like a side chain or whatever you want to call it. But because they use Unisat and you can just literally change the network, kind of like MetaMask, and it's going to feel so native, I think these two are going to be in competition with each other, which is a great showdown, because Benny and Unisat have kind of, well, I feel like it's been Benny at Unisat. There's been this like rivalry there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a rivalry. If Tap's able to do this all in L1, Tap wins. I don't care how much volume Fractal is doing at all. They've solved something that Unisat couldn't solve. They added a swap to Bitcoin layer one. That is huge. That is game changing. That will change everything. Fractal, at the end of the day, they're just an L2. They're just a side chain. Will never be more than that, right? You can be as close as Bitcoin as you want. You can feel like Bitcoin. You're still a side chain. If you have to bridge in any way possible, any way, you are a side chain. If I can just go to Tap, trade my Bitcoin for a stable coin, and have that swap go through, wait to 10 minutes or whatever, and then be happy, that is game changing, because that brings all that liquidity that will not bridge off Bitcoin. They will not bridge, but they will when the market's hot, or they have fiat, you know what I mean? They might go from Bitcoin to stablecoin to Bitcoin. That is going to be the most biggest thing to me, is the top echelon, is a swap that goes from Bitcoin to stablecoin to Bitcoin. And that's what the maxis are going to want. That's what's going to bring trillions of dollars
Well, I don't know
in
if that's what the
trading.
maxis are going to want, but I think
They do.
eventually, one by one, they will
No, they want that.
utilize it. We've already seen, not, I won't say our influence, because I don't think it's us specifically, but the space's influence on kind of opening the minds of the maxis already, right?
Yeah.
So if they have something like that, I want to bring up this comment by J25. He says ICP isn't layer one. Yeah, we know that ICP isn't layer one. It's obviously acting like a kind of like a side chain, if they want to call it, acting as like a layer two. Obviously, it's not technically. Nothing is, except for Lightning, and Lightning doesn't work the way a true layer two does either. But the whole thing is ICP finalizes on Bitcoin. So that's why I think that they, in their minds, that they're able to say that, like, because the transactions are finalizing on Bitcoin, and what they're saying too, they're not having to bridge off of Bitcoin. To me, how is
That's
that
the
work,
number
though?
one thing.
How's that
That's
work,
the number
though?
one thing. So if you
What I
don't have
mean?
to bridge off, that is huge. If I don't care what's happening in the back end, right? As long as I can trade my Bitcoin for my stable coin, or trade my stable coin for Bitcoin, and not have to bridge anywhere, that is game changing. And I can have it in 1 to 2 blocks. That is outstanding. I don't care where it's happening. And
So
it has to be a decentralized way, though.
that's where I'm confused with this, and I think
Yeah.
that,
I mean,
like,
we
it would
don't
be
know.
great for the team to come out, because you know um you're how are you able to I guess have this computational, like, smart contract, let's say, type of things happening on ICP without bridging any of your Bitcoin native layer one assets to ICP temporarily. Even if it's temporarily, that's still bridging off, unless, like, ICP is able to process the smart contract transaction on Bitcoin's native layer, and then, but you can't. Like, I mean, that's what I think, that this is exactly why I feel like they need to explain these kind of things to the public, right? Now, they did have like a transaction ID to where you can look and see like what they did, because that's what they said, is that they actually processed a smart contract transaction on Bitcoin. They had the Bitcoin transaction ID. So I'm going to look into that. J25, let me and you go into that, because I know that you have some opinions about the tap ecosystem as well, and we can kind of dive into that tomorrow. I'm excited to have you on, brother.
Yeah. And my final point on this would just be, you can't compare Tap, who's building on L1, to Fractal, who's building on sidechain. But we don't know if Tap's going to work. We have no idea. We're guessing, right? But we know Fractal is going to work. So it's that way. But you can't compare them in any way, because one's building on L1 and one's building on sidechain.
Yeah, and I think once all these ecosystems are built out, we'll know the final answer. Obviously, I know it's an obvious statement, but it's going to be funny. I think once these ecosystems are built out, we look back at these kind of episodes and this dialogue and banter and say, that wasn't anything like what we were told or what we thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It never is.
But it's fun to, I mean, let's
speculate.
be honest. It's exactly. It's fun to speculate. It's fun to think about the possibilities, because we all have great imaginations, I think. And sometimes they can go a little crazy and take us off to like outer space.
Jump over to the next thing here. So OpNet and Moto Swap BTC are now live on the Fractal testnet. So that's pretty cool. So now you have OpCat, you have OpNet, potentially have other opcodes coming as well. This is pretty, and I think these guys are going to do a really good job on Fractal. I don't think they're going to do a good job on L1, but I think it's like perfect timing for them to build this, and it could be very successful on Fractal Bitcoin. I mean, I'm a big fan of Chad Masters, not so much the other guy, but I think this could be successful on the sidechain.
Yeah, this is going to be a good test too, to see like how easy it is to. Everybody has great ideas here on Bitcoin, right? In our ecosystem, amazing ideas. Some of them actually are being played out because they fit within the limitational. I just made that word up. Limitations of Bitcoin, Bitcoin's framework, right? Which is like predictive markets, borrowing and lending. You can do these things with Bitcoin's limitations. So not many projects or ideas can actually be built on Bitcoin like that, though. And so what we're going to see is people that started an idea over here and maybe had a website and a platform that really couldn't transition to that, and see how easy it is to really replicate that on Fractal and build out what their original idea was. We're going to, if it does catch quick, then that's where the Fractal ecosystem could blow up, in my opinion, right? So
100%, I agree. Keeping this on Fractal real quick. So Blockchain Racing Club, we're a huge fan of him and everything they've done with OSD. It's our guy, man. He said the first free, fair 10K mint on Fractal is going to be the Goosenals. So the Goosenals are from an artist, and the artist said he wants to have Goosenals on every chain. So Block's going to help him out by putting it on Fractal after it launches. So how do you feel about another 10K Goosenals on the sidechain? I think he's going to give everyone who has a Goosenal a free mint for this. So I'm curious. But if it's free and fair, you don't need a Goosenal to do that. So I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I tried to sneak one in with him there, and he said, it's always free with Goosenal. So like, I don't think it's going to be that way.
Gotcha.
The cursed Goosenals, they did do that though, and I think that was cool. But I get it. Like, they want some other people to have exposure to Goosenals.
Yeah.
But this is playing out very similarly to the L2 movement.
Yeah.
Over on EVM, whenever they were doing Polygon's version of Bored Apes, or all the second tier version of whatever, right? Having their NFTs on all these other L2. So this is more bullish for the L1 assets, in my opinion, because that's not a problem for us. Like, we are okay with buying and selling ordinals the way they are now. The problem is fungible tokens, right? Yeah. So I want more of this stuff to happen, so my Goosenal on L1 could go up in value. I mean, that sounds like a selfish thing, but I just think, like, from a logical standpoint, layers of value, blah, 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 blah. We always talk about. once you start having these collections on different layers, their original layer value goes up. Now, saturation, sure, that will happen, but whenever Bitcoin is 120,000, 150,000, no one cares about saturation at that point. When Bitcoin comes out of this bull market into the back to the bear market, and we go to sleep for a couple years, that's when people care about saturation.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually more bullish on the fractal Goosenals than I am on the Goosenals on L1, only because I'm going to be able to do stuff with them, right? Computation wise, staking, maybe different things like that. You know, I'm going to be able to do weird stuff with them. Someone's going to have some ideas that you cannot do on L1, right? Obviously, you're probably going to be able to bridge your original Goosenal over and do the same thing, but I just think they're going to come out at 0, right? And then I'll actually have a chance to 10, 20, 30x. Might say I can't do it with the L1 Goosenal. I don't know, 30x for that maybe, but I know I'll be able to do it with the Goosenals on Fractal Bitcoin, and potentially be able to stake it because it'll be native there. It won't be a wrapped version, and doing all kinds of crazy stuff with those ordinals on there. And that's one thing you have to understand. Ordinals on Fractal is going to be really cool because of the computation that's going to be allowed there.
Yeah, I mean, but how often did you stake NFTs last cycle?
I didn't play with NFTs last cycle. And the ones I did were financial NFTs. So they were 100% staked. So the financial NFTs was like a, it was
Zen.
different. Zen was one of them, but there was other ones on Phantom way before that. So you were able to buy and sell them on PaintSwap and stuff like that. So you could do a locked version, and you could sell that locked LP on PaintSwap and stuff like that. So I did a lot of that type of stuff, but you can bring that to Ordinals.
Yeah, I mean, I remember staking a NFT that I had before, and I just feel like it was all right. It was whatever, but the fact that you can do it, yeah, I agree. There's going to be some people that are interested in it, right? Like, if it makes sense, like right now, like with the BRC 420s, that makes a lot of sense to do that. Like you do that on Merlin on Verothium decks, right? Because right now they're kind of just sitting in your wallet until bitmap.game develops out further. But yeah, there'll be things for that. I still think the value on layer 1 will hold it. Plus the time locks, if that becomes something on layer 1 to where people are legitimately like staking their layer 1 assets, Bitcoin's speed and stuff could actually down the line, once all these like side chains and layer 2s for Bitcoin start to grow, the speed and asset value could actually be beneficial for the layer 1 holders, because they'll be okay to kind of be like, okay, this is the long-term investment for me on layer 1. I'll put it in a time lock for a long time, or put it in a vault and save it for future investments for whatever. So we'll see how this plays out, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
And it's gonna be cool. Imagine if like a swap gets built on Fractal, right? And it's like, hey, we want to give anyone who locks your ordinals here, your fractal based ordinals here, will get the whitelist to our token. We'll get airdropped our token or something like that. You're going to see new projects coming up and want already built communities like the Goosenals. So they're going to use things like that for staking for whitelists and stuff like that. So I definitely see that being really big. I feel like getting the first 10K collection, no matter what it is, could be huge, because other projects are going to bring those communities to their project.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it last cycle. You
Yeah.
saw whenever the collections on these layer 2s on Ethereum, like the most popular collections on each layer, they had high value, but it was just always like a tier down from Ethereum's, right? Like, and so we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But it looks like we got to the end of the ordinal hour. We got 203 people in here. A little bit of a slow Tuesday for us, but no worries. All 203 people are going to make it because they're watching every day, no matter what. But are you down to get into this? Do you want to cover anything else?
I just want to hit on one more thing real quick. So BDC is officially live on MEXC. $1 Billion Cat. The Kickstarter happened yesterday, and now it's live. So this is, Track was the last token that got put on MEXC. Track went from $1.12 to about, I think it's $1.60 now. So I'm curious what $1 Billion Cat does on MEXC.
I think the dog Go to the Moon was the last one on MEXC's Kickstarter.
No, Track was. Dog was before that.
Oh, really? Track recently got on there?
Track was only because Track did it after the last validator, the first validator set, the public validator.
Wow, I'm surprised MEXC waited that long. I mean,
Well, it was because you have to
obviously-
give your tokens to them, and Track didn't have any tokens to give until the public validator.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So $1 billion cat getting on MEXC, that's a big first step in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's a recognizable brand for a centralized exchange as well as I mean, they're known for leverage, just to be frank about it. And so people are going to be trading BTC. But the thing about this is I feel like, you know, once some of these like altcoins and shit coins really start to kind of rise up into the altcoin part of the market, like the ones that are being traded on leverage, a lot of times they'll rise up because people are just trying to long them. Let's get these like, you know, meme coins going. So this is a positive first step in my opinion. And then, you know, hopefully they get added to some bigger exchanges like OKX, and, you know, Binance is like the grail that everybody's trying to reach. Obviously Coinbase, but that has, I think, harder hurdles to get added on Coinbase than any other exchange. So
I agree. All right, let's get into it.
All right, guys, we are going to get into the comments and questions here. Like I said, there isn't a ton, but we will get into them. Block. Let's see here. Okay, right here, Andre 3000. I feel like this is Chico Mo. Did he change his name? Because that looks like his PFP.
It does look like his PFP. It green background and all. I think that is Chico Mo. I don't know. Maybe not.
He says, "What's your most bullish underdog rune, and why is it Psycho Hamster?"
Yeah.
So, what's your biggest underdog rune right now?
Probably RSM, because I just think Mikhail's building something pretty cool over there, and it's a utility token. And you gotta remember, RSM has 40% of the supply, and he's gonna allow staking on his platform soon. You're gonna be able to earn that 40%.
Okay, so it doesn't worry you about the BRC 100.
Not really. I think, you know, it doesn't bother me at all. I think RSM is going to be, I don't know. I just think that, you know, at $2 million market cap or 1.5 where it is today, I think it has the most room to grow in a more sustained manner of just not being a meme coin.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Agora, even though it's like right under. I mean, it's still like a really low market cap. It's at $984,000 market cap, right? It has a functional platform. There's going to be a period when people look for utility tokens. This is, you know, you can actually earn by holding Agora as well, from what they're saying. So I'm gonna pick Agora. I'm gonna say also, let's do a meme one each. Like, what meme one for you is the biggest meme underdog? There's a lot, right?
This is easy. I think we're both gonna have the same answer.
Let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Yen.
Oh, that was such a delay. You just copied me. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I knew you were thinking that. Yeah. Psycho Hamster, though, I've heard about them, or that token. You know, it's not going away, so we'll see. I think there's gonna be like a meme mecca if Runes has, you know, if Runes could do very well on Fractal too. You never know, man, because they're gonna be bridged over there. So
like I said, I'm not bullish on anything bridged over on Fractal. I want the native Fractal coins.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's kind of like we're kind of seeing an experiment right now with Merlin on, you know, these bridged layer 1 assets.
Yeah.
And I think if you launch over on Merlin, but like, you know what I mean, you launch the rune or the BRC20 or whatever it is, it has a chance for big success in the beginning, kind of like Voya did. But to bridge over something that's already kind of created, I think like there's going to have to be really good market conditions, and then people can flow into things and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want native Fractal coins. I don't want anything bridged over there. I want the most native crap I can find.
It's my money and I want it now. JG Wentworth, remember that commercial?
No, I just think that's going to be the biggest exodus. I don't think it's going to be runes over there.
Yeah. No, you said Yagobi. I sent it in plywood check vid. Okay, so I went to the stream and I didn't see it in there. So if you could just message us on Twitter, find us on Twitter. You can message me directly, no, on Twitter, and we'll get it to you. I promise. All right. Yasher says Fractal testnet. He's calling it fractal now too, because you. No, he says fractal. Fractal testnet is doing quite good with some slight errors on deploying or minting, but in general, it's just another sidechain with a difference that Unisat is supporting it. Yeah,
100% agree. I love Yasher, dude. I feel like me and Yasher are like
soulmates.
Head to head. I feel like it. Yeah. You said it, not me, but no, I think he's my guy, man.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say supporting it. I mean, if you go to Fractal's homepage, it is Unisat. Like, you know what I mean? They are, you could say Fractal and Unisat are soulmates, actually. And then
the brothers.
The thing is, you use your own wallet address, less confusion. Yeah,
I do love that.
Yeah.
Airdrop's gonna be easy.
I like this from Mauricio. He says Solana degens are like the deep web of crypto. I think he means like the dark web because they're so degen.
Yeah. They're degen in day trader way. We're degen in like swing trader ways.
Yeah. This is an interesting statement. So Yasher says, but the number of smart contracts are too limited, so we cannot expect that much programmability.
Exactly.
So that was interesting, right? So Bob Bodley came out with a post recently talking about, but he also, I don't think he, when he made the post, I don't think he included the fact that Unisat announced that they're integrating OpCat. So he was saying that it was all Bitcoin script that was pre-coded in, but I think we're gonna, if it is the way that they're saying it is, I think we'll see more programmability. But I think it's to your point earlier, it's going to take time for that.
100%. It's going to take a lot of time, but like, I'm okay with having a Bitcoin fork and being able to degen the way we degen now, and then but over there it's going to be different because I'm getting ready for something, right? I have something to look forward to.
Yep. Yasher says on Merlin it's less than 10 seconds per block and it's highly programmable. Yeah, I think Merlin. I'm going to bring this point up again. If you go to DeFi Llama, click on chains on the left side of the menu. We'll get into this tomorrow with J25 as well. And you go to volume. Today's volume for Merlin, or yesterday's volume for Merlin, was 1.5 million. The second place was 385,000, and then it goes down. Stacks had $11,000 of volume. So my point of saying that is that, like, right now there's still this slow migration of some of these users that are from the Ordinal system coming over, but there's builders that are coming over. There's another meeting that I saw today from an Ordinal and Bitcoin builder that is going to possibly scale over there. But I think when the flow of liquidity comes in, I think there's going to be a lot of EVM guys that jump in there too. And then some of the Bitcoin guys come over there, but you cannot deny that the volume has been dominated by Merlin when it comes to Bitcoin sidechains right now. And there's about 17 to 20 of them.
Yep. 100%. But it's the only one right now where you can trade Bitcoin native assets. I mean, you can trade a few on stacks, but it takes you 2.5 hours to get your transaction. So it's the only one.
Patapoo says Fractal has Binance in Asia, period.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. Good point, Patapoo.
Patapoo's the man. I love Patapoo.
Yeah. Truman says it's not like Doge because there's a bridge between BRC20 and Fractal. I mean, that's true, but I was talking about the speed of how you do things, not the bridging part. But I see what you're saying, Truman.
But Doge, you have nothing to look forward to. I think that's the difference too with Fractal.
I mean,
like, a lot to look forward to.
Doge is 100% technicals. I'm talking about 100% technicals when it comes to speed and how you trade DRC20s and how you trade BRC20s, because that's basically the same thing except for way faster over there.
But again, over there, I mean, I don't think anyone's building besides like 8-bit, right? So it's like there's seriously nothing to look forward to, and I think that you need that. You need to be excited for something to come, even if we do end up buying the way we do now. I'm just going to be excited to hold the native tokens, the first native tokens.
Yeah. KDN says, don't launch without swap. Pointless without it. Yeah.
See, I disagree. I think launching without swap is okay because it's like you said, it's going to tear people away from it, but it's going to allow people like me to accumulate. And then when it does come, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, so I agree. I do think the people like us, KDN, I'll agree with Shizzy on this point, is that people like us that are OGs, it'll be a good thing if it doesn't right off the bat. But again, it's not going to onboard mass people. They're going to miss the hype train a little bit, but they can recreate it, especially if it's, creating degen activity.
But let's
You can
be real,
always
though.
create hype for degens.
You go to Solana guy and say, yeah, are you bullish on Fractal? They're gonna be like, what the hell is that? Right? So they don't even know it's coming yet.
And
They
then
won't
you
even
tell
know
them,
until
oh, it's
November.
something that's going to happen with the Bitcoin chain, and they were like, oh, like runes? No, I don't want.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that like felt like they got burnt by runes that are from those ecosystems, because the marketing and hype was done by mainstream influencers, not just Ordfluencers. It was like, and now they like hesitate to talk about stuff over here right now.
Yeah.
But I think
now.
we're going to benefit from that because we stayed convicted in runes, because I 100% do think that runes is going to have its bounce back. I posted an X post today. I was going to say tweet, but X post today that talked about like this time last year. We were, you and I were talking, and you were on vacation. You were like, Yagobi, what did we do? Like, freaking, I'm like, just come on. And you're like, all right, man, I know this LXBT is killing me.
I lost
I'm like,
10 grand.
I was like, what about your other bags? And you were like, yeah, sats and all these other things.
Yeah.
And then what happened? We stayed convicted.
Yeah.
And when the time was right, we celebrated. Very,
100%.
There was some stress because we were making too much, and we were like, oh, what do we do? But
I was very stressed because I made 10 grand on multiple coins, But last year, I put, I just came into Ordinals and I put majority of what I brought over into OXBT, and I had to sell some stuff to bring more over because that was a disaster. But when I remember Bika came out and said we're decentralizing OXBT, and I was like, no, because I know what that means. We're giving up on the project, right? So once that came out, I listed all my stuff. I saw that coming a mile away, and I was like, no. But I remember it was because I was in the same place I am now, just a different Airbnb. But and I remember just being out, like sitting outside and being like, fuck. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh. But then bitmaps came out, and sats minted out, and then rats and track and so many more. So I mean, I can go on for another day. Ghosting, Traverse. We made a bunch of money on that. And my biggest winner might have been bitmaps though, because I was smart and I didn't sell the top, but I got out a little early. But I mean, it's way higher than it is today.
Yeah, BRC 420s. Like, we could have made more off of that, but I mean, I can't complain. The blue cubes.
That's the thing though about the thing that we're in is that I'm educated now on what to do, right? So I'm gonna be so prepared for this upcoming bull run. I'm not gonna sell too early, but I'm not gonna sell too late. I'm gonna be ready for it, and I'm gonna pretty much do really well with Fractal and with this next layer of things that are coming, especially with Merlin. I am ready, guys. I learned. I paid my tuition. I am ready to go.
Dumbo says Fractal is just another overhyped KOL shield L2 for now.
I disagree.
Yeah. I mean, the hype is definitely getting there, though. It's not like Runes. Obviously, Runes was crazy hyped up, but it's Fractal's getting a little contagious. I mean, you had the Ordinal show, talking about it. They had Lorenzo on yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Fractal. Right, and there was about 300 people in there talking about it, so it's definitely making its rounds. So 100%. Mike's World says all the Fractal lovers are people who couldn't make money on runes.
Nobody made money on runes, bro.
Now, there was some people that made money on runes, but you had to.
Other people who made money on runes are the one who sold it as soon as they got airdropped it. Yeah.
Well, no, I think some people obviously flipped and did well on a couple things, but you just didn't have much room or time. You didn't have any time for it to really.
That's not my game. My game is holding for 3 months, right? 4 months.
Let's see what else is here.
Yasher says he agrees with Shizzy, as everyone should. Shout out to Yasher.
This is interesting. Yasher's let's go to Kai effect. Kai says, Yasher, so why is Unisat being so competitive? It seems like we need more cooperative development while the space is still so early. And Yasher says, well, in general, it's an East-West narrative all over again. Runes is Western tools, while BRC was Eastern. Now that BRC 20 is dimming, Fractal is the new tool for the East. Yeah, I mean, great point. I mean, Yasher's been here for a while, and so he's seen it. And if you've been here, at least I would say since last summer, I would say even probably the middle or early fall, then you would know that's kind of like what this narrative is, right? There's an east versus west, but it's Unisat's weird. They're very open-minded to runes and stuff like that. They just want to make sure that they capture a good size of the market. But they right now, it does seem like they've kind of focused back to BRC20. That is true. Oh, this is a big point, guys. I want you guys to, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow, Jay. But he says fractal Bitcoin will be mineable through merge mining. I'm looking into this a lot, but not much info to be found. Discord mods say more to come in the near future. Don't you love that?
So what does that mean?
Merge mining. So I believe so if it's 3 transactions to confirm, the first 2 will be done, 3 blocks to confirm the transaction. The first 2 blocks will be done on Fractal. The last block will be merged mined with Bitcoin. If I read that correctly.
Confusing. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. But like, here's the deal is that I think for medium and small size miner companies, Fractal could be big because they're getting pushed out and they're not really competitive with regular mining anymore. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, I have a buddy that, like I said, he made a lot of money previous years, but he's shut his miners off because it just wasn't profitable for the energy costs. This could help with that, but it's going to have to make enough sense, right? So who I will tell you won't get into it at first is going to be the large miners. They'll probably get into it once things have chilled out.
They might use their machines that they took offline. So maybe the ones that are just unprofitable.
Possibly,
they might, because they probably have a lot of them they can't sell. So if these guys are knowledgeable enough to know what's next, and I'm sure the guys like CB Spears are on every team, right? Who just been, there's a few ordinal people on every team. I think, let me just use the miners that we're not using a little bit of electricity. Let me mine this other coin, and they're gonna be like, oh wow, is it kind of like Caspa? And they're probably like, oh yeah, it's similar, because you're talking to people who don't understand it. So I mean, if a lot of Bitcoin miners went and mined or a lot of Ethereum miners left and went and mined Caspa, right? So I'm sure there's going to be some of these miners that are also looking for the next thing to mine.
Yep. All right. Sharon Bryson says, what is Rothium Dex price at? I bought a lot. First $20. So
$20.
Oh no, okay. I bought a lot for $20. So is it worth mining or just buying? And I'm guessing that she's saying
staking.
Yeah. And is the token circulation maxed out? No, the token circulation isn't maxed out, I don't think. There's going to be a drip of rewards for LPs, single staking for BRC 420s, etc. I would check out their docs, right? I do think that the supply is like 2.1 billion or something like that. So you got to do the math and figure it out in terms of what the current market cap is. I think they started at 315,000 or something like that. So
yeah.
Mike's World says if SATS is for fees, I wonder what the FB token will do.
So SATS is for fees on the Uniswap swap. It's not going to be fees for Fractals. So Fractal Bitcoin will be the fee token. Yeah, it will be the chain token and the fee token. But SATS is going to be some kind of push down. It seems very forced. It doesn't seem natural the way it's going to work. So I don't know, but it just seems very forced to me.
Yeah. Mauricio says, how does Merlin validate blocks? I mean, is it a sidechain or L2? It's a sidechain, so it doesn't merge mine or anything like that, or doesn't validate on only if when you bridge, you're gonna have the transactions from Bitcoin and stuff like that. That's it. Anything that's done on Merlin is gonna be validated by their system of roll-up technology. I believe they use a Polygon ZK or something. So I would check out their docs for that as well. But they are definitely open up to if Opcat gets added to Bitcoin. I know that to becoming a legitimate L2, but that's going to have to be some technical changes there. J25 says, go ahead.
Francis is battling us. He's on Twitter live right now too. Yeah.
Okay. J25 says Stacks is on hold basically until Nakamoto upgrade and has to work as expected or better. Yeah, I mean, look, that's a big expectation. It pushed out the date that they were gonna go live with it for better market conditions. In my opinion, that's why they didn't come out and say that. But let's be real, that is why. But the big thing was the breach with Alex. Obviously, that lost some trust, but it didn't lose a ton. Like I said, we don't try to highlight that over and over and over because we do think Alex has done big things for the space, and Stacks too. Stacks is OG chain, so we'll see what happens with the Nakamoto upgrade. But the current, I think, still they should be pushing out some volume. I mean, the volume pushing out right now 7,000, 11,000. I mean, what's going on? That's like that's a ghost chain to me. 1.5 million is the highest in Bitcoin sidechains, and I'm gonna be honest, that's even low for like Merlin being the leader, So I think that we're gonna see more influx, and then hey, look, I hope that Stacks has success. There's a lot of OGs in the Ordinal space that are from Stacks, and we have nothing against Stacks. Stacks produces a great product for us to use. We will use it.
And that's the thing. When Nakamoto comes out, I'll be excited to use it, but I can't use it in the condition that's being used now.
Yeah. Mike's World says, any big financial airdrops coming up? I haven't seen a big airdrop in a while that would heat up to say. So Fractal is actually doing an airdrop. Did we hit on that? We did, right?
Fractal's not. Sats Pump Fun is doing an airdrop.
But oh, sorry, that is on Fractal though. So
we hit on that yesterday.
We hit on it yesterday. So they are doing one. Let me see if I can get the list. But I know it's already Honk. So the Honk holders are probably super excited. Sats, Pizza, and I think they're including some runes too.
Shint's in there. It's no runes. It's Shint. Bitmap is the only thing that's not a BRC20. Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay, so J25 comes back and says merge mining, hash power from obsolete equipment will point to a pool to mine Fractal while also mining BTC. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, is they basically just have to maybe run a different just change the software a little bit to also mine Fractal at the same time while they're already mining Bitcoin. So
that's awesome. I didn't know you could do that.
And the last question here is from Steamy J and says, thoughts on based angels. What do you think?
No, didn't really look too much into it, but I'm not really bullish on it either.
But I will say that they did have a resurgence about a month ago.
They did.
They had like a bounce up into the top 10, and they're number 10 right now in terms of daily volume. So I'll give them that credit. I think that they could probably move if the ordinal space does go up and gets aggressive with price action. I think that there'll be one. But one other asset, Bitmaps. I think Bitmaps are going to have a big bounce back, guys. When? Who knows? There's a lot of stuff in the works with Bitmap. So. But I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. Not too bad for a Tuesday, a slow Tuesday. Finished with 202 people in here watching us live. If you guys get a chance, make sure you check out our partners, BitPerp, Premier Perp Dex. That's going to be launching on Botonics. It's going to be exciting once these other layer 2s start to launch, right? Because they all have like marketing capital and all this stuff. So they're going to be pushing that layer 2 ecosystem. But yeah, BitPerp, they should have their testnet trading competition here in a couple of weeks. You guys that are good at trading, I know Danny and some other ones, but make sure, I don't want to get any new people into this. Do your research with trading. It is testnet, so you won't lose any actual funds, but I don't want to create a habit if a habit isn't there, right? But the good thing about BitPerp is that they are focused on a lot of runes, like Shizzy said. So it's going to be degen up to 100x is what I'm seeing with leverage. So check them out. You can go to bitperp.io to learn more. Also, Ordinal Hive, the blur of Bitcoin. They are building on Merlin. Their beta is open to the public, by the way. So you no longer have to go to their Discord to be asked to be let in. So you can go earn points right now, and those points will, transfer into whatever else they decide to transfer those into. So you can go to I believe it's ordinalhive.io. Let me see.
Yeah, it's ordinalhive.io.
Yeah, beta.ordinalhub.io, so you can start earning points right away. So go over there, and it is like Blur. So it's basically earning points, trading, ordinals, and those kind of things. Super fun. And then Fluid tokens, which is a runes DEX on Bitcoin's native layer. They're doing crazy things like time lock, staking, integration, experts. We'll see. But go interact with their DEX right now so you can earn points and get that airdrop for the Fluid Pass. It's a really sleek looking 3D asset that you're going to be able to earn possible tokens in the future, but you'll be able to stake it as well. And then lastly, but not least, is the Verothium DEX that launched to the public. You can go to verothiumdex.io. You can go to launch app. You can trade and get Verothium DEX tokens with Bitcoin. You can add liquidity, start earning APY, go do all that stuff. They are focused on BRC 420s right now as well. So I think the blue box is coming up. We'll see, but they're going to be adding a lot of BRC 420 single staking. So if you are a project founder for BRC 420 and you want to enter this program and you want to launch your token, you can launch on VDEX as well. You just reach out to their Discord or their X account, and then you'll be set up there. But that is it with the partners.
Yeah, guys, go check out ordinalrevolution.com. There's some of the best articles in there. If you know someone new who's just getting started, send them our website. They can really go back and read articles from last year. And we have some of the best merch. Just go to Ordinal Revolution, hit the store tab. It'll take you to all of our merch. If you guys want us to add something, we can also add something as well. Just let us know. And, just taking a look, see what we have. That means a lot to us. And, guys, we're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. So check us out all week. I will not be here tomorrow or the next day, which is Thursday, but I will be back Friday for Fluid Friday. So guys, check us out. But we got my man J25 going to be filling in for me. He's probably going to do a better job anyway. So tune into that show tomorrow. Yagobi's going to hold things down while I am enjoying my family. So I definitely highly recommend you guys do the same as well this month, because I think the next couple months are going to be very, very busy for you if you're in Ordinals, because you're going to make a lot of money. So shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much. I will see you Friday. Yagobi will see you tomorrow. And that's the show.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.